Our life looked like a fairy tale. My husband Sebastian and I had been married for 8 years, and from the outside, we had it all. A beautiful home in a quiet suburb, 2 wonderful kids, and a love story that everyone envied. We were high school sweethearts, the couple everyone believed was destined to be together forever. Sebastian was a successful architect, charming and attentive. He'd bring me flowers for no reason, plan surprise date nights, and always told me I was the most beautiful woman in the world. Our friends called us the perfect couple, and honestly, I believed it too. I was living my dream, completely blissfully unaware that my perfect world was about to shatter into a million pieces. The change was subtle at first. So subtle, I almost convinced myself I was imagining it. Sebastian started working late more often. Big project, he'd say, looking tired. I believed him. He became more attached to his phone, guarding it like it held state secrets. If I walked into the room while he was texting, he'd quickly flip it over. When I asked who he was talking to, he'd brush it off. Just work stuff, honey. You wouldn't be interested. A cold knot of unease began to form in my stomach, but I pushed it down. This was Sebastian, my Sebastian. He would never betray me. I was being paranoid, insecure. I told myself to trust him, to believe in the foundation we had built over so many years. Then came the little lies, the small inconsistencies that I couldn't ignore. He'd mention a dinner with a client, but when I'd ask about it the next day, the details would change. He'd say he was going to the gym after work, but his gym bag would still be in the car, untouched. The distance between us grew from a small crack into a gaping chasm. Our conversations became superficial, our intimacy forced. He was physically present, but his mind, his heart, felt a million miles away. The laughter that used to fill our home was replaced by a tense silence. I tried to talk to him, to bridge the gap. I'd ask if everything was okay, if he was stressed, if there was anything I could do. He'd just smile that empty smile and say, "Everything's fine. Alina, you're worrying too much." But his eyes told a different story. They were distant, hollow, and they no longer looked at me with the love I once knew. The breaking point came on a Tuesday afternoon. It was our anniversary, our 10th. Sebastian had promised a special dinner, just the 2 of us. He called in the afternoon, his voice strained. "Honey, I'm so sorry. A client emergency came up. I have to fly to Chicago tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll celebrate this weekend, I promise." Disappointment washed over me, but I tried to be understanding. "It's okay, Seb. Work is important." But as I hung up the phone, that cold knot of dread in my stomach tightened. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. It was a gut feeling, a primal instinct that screamed at me that I was being lied to. Driven by a desperation I never felt before, I did something I never thought I'd do. I opened his laptop. For years we'd shared everything, and I knew all his passwords. My hands were trembling as I navigated to his email. My heart pounded against my ribs, a voice in my head screaming at me to stop, to trust my husband. But another louder voice urged me on, telling me I needed to know the truth. I opened his personal email account, and there it was. A folder I'd never seen before, simply labeled A. My breath caught in my throat. With a click that felt like a gunshot in a silent house, I opened it. The screen filled with emails, not just a few but hundreds. They were love letters. Passionate, intimate letters filled with promises and plans for a future that didn't include me. They were from a woman named Chloe, a colleague from his office. My eyes scanned the words, each one a dagger to my heart. They talked about secret meetings, stolen weekends, and their undeniable connection. They mocked my naivety. One email from Chloe read, "Does Alina really believe you're in Chicago for a client meeting? You have her so wrapped around your finger." The air left my lungs. He wasn't in Chicago. He was with her. They were celebrating their own version of our anniversary. The world tilted on its axis. The floor felt like it was falling away beneath me. I read on, my vision blurred by tears. I saw hotel confirmations, flight itineraries for trips I never knew he took, and photos. Photos of them together, smiling, kissing, looking at each other with an intimacy that he hadn't shown me in years. He was a stranger. The man I had loved for more than half my life, the father of my children, was living a complete double life. The perfect marriage, the perfect family, it was all a facade. An elaborate lie he had constructed while I was busy loving him with my whole heart. I sat there for hours, surrounded by the digital ghost of my marriage. Every memory we ever shared was now tainted, every I love you, a lie. The pain was physical, a crushing weight on my chest that made it hard to breathe. Betrayal is a unique kind of pain. It doesn't just break your heart, it shatters your reality. It makes you question everything you thought you knew, not just about the person who betrayed you, but about yourself. How could I have been so blind? Were there signs I missed? Was I not enough? The questions swirled in a chaotic storm in my mind. When I heard his car pull into the driveway the next evening, I was a different person. The heartbroken, naive wife was gone. In her place was a woman whose illusions had been burned to the ground. I was calm. It was a terrifying, icy calm. He walked in, holding a bouquet of roses and a gift bag, a guilty smile plastered on his face. Happy late anniversary, my love. I'm so sorry about yesterday. He tried to kiss me, but I turned my head. I just looked at him, letting the silence stretch. Confusion flickered in his eyes. Alina, what's wrong? He asked, his voice laced with fake concern. I didn't say a word. I just turned the laptop screen towards him. It was still open to the folder labeled A, the pictures of him and Chloe displayed for him to see. The color drained from his face. The roses fell from his hand, scattering on the floor between us. For a moment, he was speechless, his mouth opening and closing with no sound coming out. The mask of the perfect husband fell away, revealing the liar beneath. Alina, I can't explain, he stammered. But there was nothing to explain. The proof was right there, in black and white and color. The years of lies, the stolen moments, the calculated deceit. It all came crashing down in that single moment. My fairy tale was over. It had never been real in the first place. But as I stood there, looking at the ruins of my marriage, I felt something unexpected. Alongside the devastation, a tiny seed of strength began to sprout. I had lost my husband, but I had found the truth. And with the truth, I knew, eventually I would find myself again. The journey would be long and painful, but for the first time in a long time, I was no longer living a lie. This was the end of my marriage, but it was also the beginning of my new story. A story of healing, resilience, and rediscovering my own worth. It's a path I'm still walking, and it's not easy. If you've ever faced a betrayal like this, know that you are not alone. The pain can feel overwhelming, but it's so important to reach out for support, whether it's from friends, family, or a professional therapist. You deserve to heal and to build a future based on truth and self-love. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, I'd love to hear how you found your strength in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about navigating life's toughest challenges.